What's up, everybody? It is the Friendly Weirdo coming to you without a beard. I have shaven and I think I look good, but that's not what's important right now. Today was the Royal Rumble, and I actually got to watch it. I actually saw a live stream on a website that I don't remember its name. I'm sorry, but I just basically looked up Royal Rumble 2019 live stream, and I believe this pay-per-view was as good as I thought it was going to be. Like, it wasn't like most of the matches were really good, and I expected all the people who won to win. I was 7-9 in my predictions. But before I go on to the main show, I want to talk about the pre-show. So the pre-show kicks off with this really weird match: Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus Razor and Scott Dawson. Which, like, I don't know why this happened. Like, I didn't actually watch the pre-show. I apologize, because like I found this live stream after the pre-show had already wrapped up. Like, literally when I started the live stream, like, Asuka and Becky Lynch was just starting. Like, Becky Lynch just made her entrance. But so yeah, that was a weird tag match, and I'm assuming it was the worst match of the night because it's just weird. But then you get Shinsuke Nakamura regaining his United States title against Rusev, which I'm for, because honestly I never really fell into the hype of Rusev. Like, I don't know, like, I was just never into him as much as a lot of other people were. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I like Shinsuke Nakamura a lot better. And I can't believe I missed the cruiserweight title match with Buddy Murphy defending against Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto, because I like the cruiserweights. I like 205 Live, and it sucks that people don't watch 205 Live because it's great. Like, 205 Live is a really fun show. Like, you guys should give it a watch if you like the high flying action. But enough of that. The kickoff match of the show happens as Asuka defends her SmackDown Women's title against Becky Lynch, and I enjoyed this match a lot. Like, it was a lot of back and forth. Like, it really made Asuka to be on the same level as Becky Lynch, which I think is good because some people were saying that Asuka's championship reign was tainted because of the controversial way she kind of won it with Ronda Rousey interfering. I personally don't see it that way, but I think it's good to prove those people wrong. And they do this crazy neck breaker off the ring apron, which I'm like, oh my god, that looked super painful. I'm just glad both of them are okay. So the match ends when Asuka has like the Asuka lock on Becky Lynch, but she like bends herself backwards to like make it more like she's choking Becky, and she taps out. Which I mean, that was a very creative. Like, I didn't think they were actually gonna have a tap out victory for Asuka, but that was great. If I had to give it on a point system, I would give this match a 4 out of 5. Very great match. Like, I loved it. But up next, we get The Miz and Shane McMahon versus The Bar. Now, anyone who watched my predictions video knows that I do not care for the story with The Miz and Shane. Like, I don't get where the end goal is supposed to be. Like, Miz's character is very confusing because like, when I hear him talk, he still sounds like a heel to me. Like, I can't really trust anything he says. And like, then they bring up the story about how his father doesn't love him or something stupid like that, and oh my god, it is dumb. I mean, this match, it's not bad. It's actually okay. Like, there's some good stuff in it. Like, Shane McMahon's doing a lot of diving, and the Bar hitting a lot of cool looking tag moves. And like, Cesaro hits the giant swing after what feels like a while that he didn't do it on the Shane. He did it for like 20, I think 20 rotations, which is pretty cool. So the match ends when Miz pushes Cesaro in the way of a brogue kick, and Shane McMahon hits a shooting star press. And so Miz and Shane are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I would give this match 3 out of 5 stars. It was, or maybe 2.5 if I'm really gonna go low. It was okay, I guess, but I really didn't want to see Miz and Shane win. And I'm still like not sure where this storyline is gonna go. Like, are they gonna turn him heel or turn Shane heel? Is this gonna be like a thing to set up Miz versus Shane at WrestleMania, which I don't think anybody really wanted? Like, I don't know what this is gonna lead up to, and I'm confused. But I mean, it was a decent match. Like, nothing was bad about it. And Shane, I mean, aside from his punches, which my God, how haven't you ever decided to like work on your punches? Like, he looked fine in the match. Kind of wish he'd take off his shirt. Like, the Miz would take off that shirt though. It was kind of weird that he had it on for like half the match. Up next is Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. People still think that Ronda Rousey can't wrestle, and look, I'm not saying that Rousey is the best ever, but I think she's proven more than once that she can hold herself in the ring. I mean, some of her best matches involve Nia Jax, which while I don't hate Nia Jax, she's no ring general. So I was expecting a quality match from Sasha Banks, and we got it. After honestly some not so good build, they really pulled off a great match here. Like Sasha, like oh my god, she had her in this armbar at one point that looked just so brutal. Like it looked like she was gonna snap Rousey's arm in half. And Rousey, by the way, is doing a good job of selling this stuff because she looks like she was almost crying at a couple points. And I forgot to mention that the commentary up until this point had been very subdued, like not gimmicky at all. Like they are in tandem with each other, which it's a breath of fresh air because up until certain points of the show, aside from a few points in the show, like Corey Graves isn't arguing with Byron Saxton, Corey Graves isn't arguing with Renee Young, JBL and Michael Cole aren't arguing. It actually sounds like they're putting effort into looking at the match and seeing how the match is, which I'm so happy that happened because it gets annoying having to hear Corey Graves and Byron Saxton argue every week on SmackDown about just something, and when you just want to be like Tom Phillips and or you just want to listen to Tom Phillips call the match because at least he calls matches. Like he's not perfect, but at least he's good at calling matches. But Corey Graves does have his moments here where he's just like trashing Sasha Banks. Is that something from NXT? Like, why does he hate Sasha Banks so much? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. So Rousey wins, but surprisingly, she wins with the Piper's Pit. Yes, that's actually what she calls her weird twisting Samoan driver finisher. She calls it the Piper's Pit, and she wins with it, which is weird. She didn't win with her armbar. And she said she wants to make Sasha tap out, so I'm assuming, and from the post match stuff, where like Sasha just like is incensed and doesn't and does the 4 horsewomen sign the Rousey. Like I don't think this is over by a long shot. Like maybe they'll have another match down the line, or maybe it's leading into the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen thing. I don't know. Oh, and I'm gonna give this match 4 out of 5 as well. I do think the SmackDown Women's title match was better, but this match was great as well. Like, not taking away anything from these two. They did a fantastic job. And then we get the Royal Rumble. And I find it hard to talk about Royal Rumbles because essentially it's all the stuff happening off screen, and maybe you see a couple people on the hard cam doing stuff. So it's kind of hard to judge these things fairly, but I will say this Rumble was pretty exciting. It's cool to see Rhea Ripley. I don't watch really NXT UK, so it was kind of cool to see Rhea Ripley like just come in and do her thing. And you had like all the surprises, like you had Lacey Evans, who lasted a long time in this match, almost 30 minutes, and Nikki Cross. You had Nikki Cross, you had Candice LeRae, you had Casey Catanzaro. I never heard of her, but she did this amazing save where she scooted, put her foot on the the LED post, and she climbed up it like a monkey. It was so cool. But she did get eliminated by Rhea Ripley shortly after, but you know what? I don't even care. This match was so much fun. Zelina Vega was kind of funny too because she was hiding under the ring, but Hornswoggle kind of came up from out of nowhere, just like frightened her so much that Rhea Ripley just eliminated her as well. So the match ends when it's Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Nia Jax attacks Becky Lynch, which I'm assuming is going to lead to a match between the two at either Fastlane or the Elimination Chamber. Like, just to kind of give Becky more momentum going in, because I think they still have unsettled issues when Nia Jax took her out for 2 weeks. Yeah, it was only 2 weeks. And Becky's leg is injured after Nia pushed her off the stairs, so Charlotte just kind of targets it. But Becky is able to fight through it and win the match. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, Becky actually took Lana's spot in the 28 as the 28th entrant, but she got injured during the match with Rusev and Nakamura when Rusev accidentally knocked her off the ring apron, which seems to be a common thread throughout this feud with Nakamura, it seems. But anyway, Becky Lynch wins and will hopefully be challenging Ronda Rousey so we can get that match that we didn't get at Survivor Series. And, God, I'm going to give this Rumble 4 out of 5. It was exciting for a Rumble match, and it had some entertaining moments. Up next is the new Daniel Bryan taking on the real AJ Styles. This match, it was a good match, but I felt like something was missing. Intensity and aggressiveness were missing from this match. Like, you saw how AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan were fighting in the backstage area, fighting in the concession stand. We didn't get a lot of that in this match. Like, it was a lot of strikes, a lot of holds, and some good stuff. Like, it wasn't a bad match. It was just, I just feel like it felt like they didn't get into like the next gear of it. But the match ends when Eric Rowan, who I guess the Bludgeon Brothers are no more, comes out and kind of just does this choke slam to AJ Styles where he has his entire palm on AJ's face, and it looks so brutal. So Daniel Bryan pins AJ Styles to win the match, and this appears to be some new alliance with Rowan and Bryan. And people had commented, like, and I completely forgot about this because it only happened for 2 weeks, but Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan were all a part of the Wyatt family together at one point. So this is like kind of a reunion of sorts, but not really, because I think this is more like it's going to be a CM Punk style straight edge society thing, where instead of straight edge, it's like veganism and environmentalism. And I wonder who else is going to be in it. Maybe they'll bring back CJ Parker so he could be a part of it. That'd be awesome. I'm going to give this match 3.5 out of 5. Like, again, it's not a bad match at all, but it needed something more. Like, it needed to get into that next gear so it can be like, so it could have been like much more exciting than I think a lot of people thought it was gonna be. But up next, we get Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor for the Universal title. And holy shit, did Finn Balor look great in this match. Like, he had Lesnar on the ropes so many times. Like, this wasn't like his matches with AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan where they were dominated for the first half, and then the second half they picked up before losing. Finn Balor was dominant throughout a lot of this match. Like, Brock Lesnar did have some moments, but it was more freaking Finn, like, who was like just ramming him into the announce table, like hitting him with drop kicks, like diving on him with his corkscrew planchas. It was great. Or somersault plancha. It was whichever. It was great. And the match ends with Finn Balor hits the coup de grace, and at that moment, I legit thought that Balor had a chance to win it. But at the 2 count, Lesnar breaks out the Kimura lock, which was nice because I don't think we had seen that in a while. So, and Finn, he's in the hold for a while, but he eventually taps out. So that's the second time there wasn't a predictable finish. Like with Rousey, she didn't use the armbar to win. And Brock Lesnar, he didn't use the F5 to win. So I'm going to give this one 4.5 out of 5 because this exceeded my expectations. Like I thought this was going to be a great match, like on the level of Bryan and Styles, but this was something else. And it was the shortest match on the card. It was only, aside from the stupid tag match at the pre-show, but it was only 8 minutes 40 seconds, like almost 9 minutes. But after the match, Lesnar attacks Balor with suplexes and F5s, which kind of shows how much in Balor's head that Lesnar had gotten. I mean, how much in Lesnar's head Balor had gotten. Because, like, remember at the go home angle for Raw, Balor was actually taking it to Lesnar during his match with Strowman, which I thought was impressive stuff. But now we get to the Royal Rumble match itself. And I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't get Bray Wyatt or Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn coming back. But we did see some good stuff. We saw Jeff Jarrett and Elias like doing their thing, and that was pretty entertaining. We had the new North American champion Johnny Gargano. We had Pete Dunne, Aleister Black, and coming into the match, which was pretty cool. It was nice to see him. We had Kurt Hawkins actually eliminated somebody. He eliminated Titus O'Neil in 3 seconds. I'm not sure that would count as a win, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. And No Way Jose now has 2 seconds, so he's in the running for least amount of time in the Rumble. Speaking of which, there are quite a few people who have less than a minute in the Rumble. You had Jinder Mahal at 38 seconds, Titus at 3, No Way Jose at 2, Xavier Woods at 3, and Bobby Lashley at 12 seconds. But this led to, like, Bobby Lashley, it was the spot where the big guy gets eliminated early on, so he gets mad and just attacks people, like attacks the guy who eliminated him, so like the guy can get a break. So it's kind of more reasonable that he would come back in the middle of the match or later on. And Dolph Ziggler came at number 29, I believe, 28, which was weird because I thought he was taking some time off, which is what he said in an interview. But R-Truth was supposed to be number 30, but they kind of swerved you because Nia Jax came in and beat up R-Truth and kind of took his spot, which I thought was very cool because it's surprising. Like, people say WWE doesn't know how to surprise anymore. Well, they surprised you, and I know they did. Don't act like they didn't. So Nia comes in, she wrecks shit. She even eliminates Mustafa Ali, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. But it was still pretty cool to see Nia in there and hold her own against these guys. She does get eliminated by Rey Mysterio, but then it's down to Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. And Seth Rollins is able to topple Braun Strowman to win the match and go on to WrestleMania, where he will hopefully fight Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. And I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I mean, 4 points, too. Don't want to copy Ryan Zane there. That's it. Stars are his thing. But I thought this wasn't another exciting match. There might have been a little too much of the less than a minute eliminations, and the fact that there wasn't many surprise entrances that we all wanted. Like I said, Bray Wyatt, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens didn't show up. But I thought this was an entertaining Rumble, and they did have enough there to kind of bring it all home. And it was also a great way to end the show on this note of Seth Rollins, kind of the face of Raw, just getting this huge victory. He's on his way to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and I am just going to be so happy when he takes the title. I can't even tell you. So this was actually a very great pay-per-view. Would I say it was the best Rumble pay-per-view? No, but it was very good. It was a very, very good show, and I would highly recommend you watch it. The least good match, I can't even call it the worst because it wasn't even bad, but the least good match of the night was the SmackDown Tag Title match. I'm not counting the pre-show tag match because I actually didn't see it, so it's not that fair to say it's the worst, even though it probably was. And the best match of the night had to go to Balor and Lesnar, just for like how fast-paced, intense, exciting, and for a brief moment, you thought, you thought that Finn Balor had it. You thought he had it, and that he was going to leave the Universal Champion. And if he had left Universal Champion, I would probably have said that Drew McIntyre was going to be my pick for the for the for the Royal Rumble, but it didn't happen. But I say this was a good pay-per-view overall. And it makes me excited for the road to WrestleMania, which will happen tomorrow night on Raw. So, and that's it. That was my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Leave a comment. Click the thumbs up. Tell a friend. And be sure to subscribe. And I'm the Friendly Weirdo, signing off.